Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The celebration of Mashujaa Day was full of drama in different parts of the country. As you all know, that each and every county is always given a speech from State House, from the office of the president, and it is distributed to the county commissioner so that as they celebrate, they read that speech to the people. Now, several people, especially from Mount Kenya, decided to show Ruto that they did not see anything to smile about this Mashujaa Day because their Shujaa is Rigathi Gachagua. Yet Rigathi is a man who is now under siege courtesy of choreographed plans and scheme from the president himself. If you watched what happened in Juja, Kiambu County, they sat and waited for the moment when the deputy county commissioner rose to read the message from the president, and they walked out in protest singing, "Ruto must go, Ruto must go." Now, I have been trying to find out what happened in Nyeri because that is the backyard of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now, in Nyeri, two things happened. Number one, there was low turnout. And in fact, there wasn't even any political leader there, like members of parliaments or MCAs. They decided to give it a wild bath because they knew members of their constituents were, watching them very closely. And then when the time came for the county commissioner to now officially read to the people the message from the president, the man they accuse of orchestrating the ouster of their son, the man they accuse of betraying them, they decided they were not going to make noise. All they did is that they rose and decided to walk out in protest.
Nyeri County recorded a low turnout in this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations held at the Kamkunji Stadium, with the county's political leadership also skipping the event.
That's right, and as our very own Kamau Mwangi reports, some of the few residents that attended the event started walking out immediately the president's speech started being read. Take a listen.
These were the scenes at Kamkunji Stadium, Nyeri. This stadium, which under normal circumstances would have at least been at half capacity, recorded low turnout. The impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the son from the county, seemed to have rubbed them the wrong way, with many choosing to keep off the celebrations and only leaving a handful to attend.
Shujaa wangu ni Rigathi Gachagua, na sina aibu kusema hivyo, manake ametupigania na jamii ya Wakikuyu amewapigania, si ukabila. Hakuna mtu ambaye hana kabila yake.
The reason why watu hawakuweza kutokea ni ya kwamba hizi siasa ambazo zimekuwa zikiendelea za kumpandua Gachagua uongozini ndio zimechangia sana. Kwa hivyo kama watu wa Nyeri wako na machungu sana.
Their quest to understand what was going on in the political sphere further dampened by the absence of any of the county's political leadership, as all of them chose to stay away.
Tunafeel vibaya sana kuona viongozi wenyewe ndio wanajiweka kuwa kwa mfukoni yao, lakini hii mambo yenye inaendelea, sisi tuko na machungu sana kuliko Gachagua wetu wanapigwa ni wenye viongozi.
Tunatarajia na wao siku hiyo ingine ya tarehe 12 mwezi wa Disemba watakuja, ndio na wao wawe wakisema maneno yetu.
Those that were in attendance also expressed their anger in a different way. A section staging a walkout as soon as the head of state's speech got underway.
Tuyote machua mwenye akona akili timamu, sidhani kuna mtu ageza kushughulika juu hakuna chochote za kucelebrate kwa hiyo celebrations ilikuwa za leo.
That was video courtesy of Citizen TV. Now, the residents of Nyeri have always made their position known. Their position has always been, if Rigathi should go, then he must be accompanied by the president. Kufa dereva, kufa makanga. They pronounced themselves very explicitly even during the public participation. And that is why when they realized that the president is still in office, yet their son is waiting for his fate in the court, they decided we are not going to wait. Listen to what they were saying during the public participation. It is crystal clear that this was a protest against what is happening to their son. You see, these people really voted for William Ruto overwhelmingly. Why? They had been promised that the government that would be formed would be theirs. They believed they had shares in it, and they were even blocking others from enjoying a fair share of the national cake. Now they feel betrayed, they feel used and dumped, because according to them, the only sin that their son committed was to speak on their behalf. The only sin that their son committed was to tell the president, stop demolishing houses of innocent Kenyans. And the only sin their son committed was to tell them that all politics is local and therefore let us unite. And so they decided that we are not going to we are not going to give audience to a speech that is coming from our enemy, because William Ruto is their enemy now. You know that they were told that if there was one man who was destroying this country and would not be allowed to get any closer to State House was Raila Amolo Odinga. They called him Mganga, Mzee wa Kitandawili. They voted him out to go to Bondo. Now, when they look back in retrospect, they realize that Raila actually is not in Bondo. He is in State House, and the government is campaigning for him to become the African Union Commission chairman. And so they feel, a little bit gullible. Not a little bit, but they were really cheated. And when they just feel so cheap. How could a leader come to their soil, charge them against their own son, Uhuru Kenyatta, tell them that Uhuru neglected them, use their own sons against each other, divide and rule, and before they know it, only within 2 years, their son has been dropped like hot potato. They feel very bad. There is nothing they can do. They wished that 2027 was tomorrow. They would have woken up very early in the morning to vote out William Samoei Ruto. The chief hustler has destroyed them completely. And such scenes will be seen in many of the counties, especially those that support Rigathi Gachagua. The other day you saw Kimani Ngunjiri crying profusely because he felt that their son was in hospital, yet William Ruto could not have any sympathy. The Senate still went ahead to impeach him. Gathoni Mushomba was crying. And I've been asking myself, if they are shedding tears and there's still some glimmer of hope in the courts, what if the courts decide that they uphold the decision of the Senate and of the National Assembly that Rigathi Gachagua actually stands impeached and therefore his destination Nyeri? What will they do? Because they cried, but they still knew that there was a window of opportunity at the Supreme Court. And that thing I've been wondering, what will they do? Someone was joking around that they must really respect the supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga. They have felt the same way they are feeling from 2007 to 2013 to 2017 to 2022. Yet they are still strong. They are still in this country. And I saw another TikToker joking around telling Rigathi Gachagua, amka bwana. Uwezi kuwa ni siku moja tu umeambiwa na Senate that you are being impeached and you have gone to the hospital. While Raila has always been told that a period of 4 years consecutively. They go there knowing that they are winning, then all of a sudden they are told it is not yours. Yani inachukuliwa kwa mdomo. And he was mocking the supporters of Rigathi and Rigathi himself that it cannot be that this is happening only for the first time and you've gone sick. And maybe the reason why this is happening, it is happening for the first time. Their only son that they knew was there is gone. So, ladies and gentlemen, we still have, the court process going on, even though we have seen some rush from Ruto's side, but we know the court process will go to the fullest. These people don't want William Ruto because the impeachment motion is obviously orchestrated from the office of the president. They're accusing each other. Today, Rigathi was telling us that, I always tell the president the truth. That is why he wants me out. William Ruto is saying, this man who is supposed to be my principal assistant is opposing me in cabinet. It is also opposing me outside the cabinet. And therefore, this is tantamount to sabotage. I don't know. This war has backfired on Ruto, especially in the regions that don't support the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Luckily enough for William Ruto, he's got a lot of reinforcement from regions that Gachagua had been charged to tell that they were not shareholders. William Ruto knew exactly what he was doing. He gave Rigathi Gachagua a poisoned chalice, and Rigathi drank from it unknowingly. That speech was never read because it was in humiliation. In fact, that was a replica of many, many speeches by county commissioners and their deputies in several regions in the country.